What is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and welcome back to another episode of Shadows and Pretties. So today, in this episode, this is episode 94, and since today, or this month in July, is Superhero Month, which I decided, I'll do some, I guess you could say, me reviewing, I guess you could say, well, since, it's superhero month, I've decided, I'll do Shadows and Pretties episodes involving superheroes. And today I am going to be doing another episode of Shadows and Pretties. So I am going to be doing a review on the Powerpuff Girls movie that came out in 2002. Oh my goodness, this is like almost 20 years old already. So much nostalgic. Like, oh my goodness, so much nostalgia. I have to say, this was actually a pretty good awesome show when I was a kid. Like, I remember the show was pretty popular, like the older versions, but I decided to go ahead and, kind of sit there and, do a review on the movie because, well, it's superhero month. So, basically, this involves, this is kind of based on the TV show, I guess, how the Powerpuff Girls became superheroes. So, I guess I could kind of, explain about the TV show. So, it's based on the TV show Powerpuff Girls created by Greg McCracken. And it has, like, a pretty good, good certain, cast. They got Tara Strong, who, voices Bubbles in it, and they have Tom Kenny, who also voices the mayor, which is very surprising, despite the fact that, it kind of sounds like, SpongeBob. And yeah, you may know who Tom Kenny is if you watch SpongeBob. So, with that being the case, it's a superhero comedy-based film on the Cartoon Network animated television series of the same name, which it's basically, a directorial debut from the screenplay and written by himself. So, with that being the case, that being said, this is the prequel to the series of basically how the Powerpuff Girls came to be. So the film tells the origin story of how the Powerpuff Girls were created and they came to be defenders of Townsville. So, with that being the case, that being said, this was produced by Cartoon Network Studios back in the older days, and the Powerpuff Girls movie was theatrically released on July 3rd of 2002, which is 19 years old as of today. So, of course, by Warner Bros., the film received positive reviews, but it was unfortunately a box office bomb, only grossing around 16 million against the budget of, well, 11 million. So, with that being the case, if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend you sit there and go watch this movie, as you will not be disappointed when you watch this movie. You're not going to be disappointed, because this movie, if you were a kid in the early 2000s like I was, chances are you probably watched the original cartoon, well, animated series of the Powerpuff Girls when you were younger. So, here is this. So, with that being the case, I am going to be spoiling everything about the movie, so if you have not seen Powerpuff Girls, you need to sit there and, well, watch the movie if you have not seen it. So, I highly recommend you do check it out. It's pretty good. It's really amazing. You will not be disappointed. So, anyways, that being the case, let's get down to business on this movie, shall we? So, the movie basically starts off with Professor Utonium, who creates a mixture of sugar, spice, and everything nice in the hopes of producing the perfect little girl to improve Townsville. However, he gets shoved by his laboratory assistant and the destructive chimpanzee, who is Mojo Jojo, I guess, which causes him to accidentally break and spill a flask of chemical X into the, well, experiment has been successful, producing three little girls, who Professor Newtonian names them Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, who he also discovers that the girls have gained superpowers from adding the chemical X. Despite the girls' recklessness with their powers, they all immediately begin to grow love each other as a family. Now, I know there's like other superhero movies that do talk about, how, a certain individual got their powers and that, which I definitely have to say most of them are true, but if you like watch DC or Marvel comics, you would probably, see their backstories. So, With that being the case, the mixture of sugar, spice, and everything nice is basically a popular nursery rhyme based on what are little boys made of. Is a very popular nursery rhyme dating from the early 19th century at that point. So that's where they got the sugar, spice, and everything nice idea. So on their first day of school, the girls learn about a game of tag and they begin to play amongst themselves, which quickly grows destructive when they use their powers. The girls take the game downtown where they accidentally cause a massive damage to the city. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me about that. I just had McDonald's, so I'm sorry for that big burp. Until the professor calms them down. So the next day, the girls are treated as outcasts by the citizens of Townsville as a result of destruction that had caused the professor for getting arrested for creating the girls, believing that using their powers again will only anger the townspeople even more. So the girls try to make their way home from school on foot, but they became lost in an alleyway and they get attacked by a gang which you probably know who they are, but if you guys seen the show, you probably may know. I kind of don't remember their names because it's been like quite a while. But Mojo Jojo eventually rescued them, and whose brain has been mutated by the chemical X explosion, giving him a super intelligence. So, planning to control the city and revenge on the professor for replacing him with the girls, Jojo gains the girls' sympathy and by convincing them that he also hated for his powers, but he tricks the girls into helping him by building his laboratory and machine powered by the chemical X, which he claims and earns all the affections of the city afterwards. So Jojo rewards the girls with a trip to the zoo, where he secretly implants small transportation devices on the primates, and therefore at night, Jojo brings the primates to his lab and uses his new machine to inject them with mechanical X, which turns them all into evil mutants like himself. The next morning, the professor is released from prison, and the girls show him all the good they have done, only to discover that the city was been under attack by the evil primates. Jojo renaming himself as Mojo Jojo publicly announces the girls and his assistants, which damages their reputation even further and makes it distraught to the professor to lose hope in them. Dejected, the girls exile themselves to an asteroid in outer space. So Mojo Jojo announces his intention to rule the planet, but becomes frustrated when his minions decide not to obey him. And they decide to make their own plans to terrorize Townsville. So hearing the turmoil from space, the girls return to Earth to rescue the citizens, realizing they can use their powers to fight the primates. And after his army defeated, Mojo Jojo injects himself with mechanical X and grows into a giant monster, overpowering the girls in a tense battle. Rejecting Mojo Jojo's offer as an alliance to take over the world, the girls push him off the skyscraper, and soon the professor arrives to antidote for chemical X. To help the girls, Mojo Jojo lands on the antidote, which shrinks him down to his normal size, battered, and defeated. Eventually, the girls considering using the antidote X to erase their powers, thinking that they would be accepted as normal girls, but the people of Townsville protest against this and apologize for misjudging them and thanking them for their heroic deeds. As the request of Townsville's mayor, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup agreed to use their powers to defend Townsville with the professor's permission, becoming the city's beloved crime-fighting superheroes team known as the Powerpuff Girls. Now that was actually a really good movie based on, the TV show, and I really would have to say that this actually had a pretty good concept for, the whole ordeal. So the film was being developing. The series creator, Craig McCracken, did not want to appeal exclusively at the girls merchandise to be made of. With jewelry and necklaces being sold with all the characters plastered on it, he wanted to make it an action comedy film that felt that is a closer conception of the Powerpuff Girls. So they basically were debating on what they should do it or anything like that. So they ended up sitting there and making, a bunch of ideas how to plot the movie and that. So, of course, by February 2002, the film was then already promoted to Cartoon Network's official website about the B artists, where contests were available, promoting fans at the United States under the age of, 18 to send their drawings to have the opportunity for it to appear in the actual scene from the movie. One of Delta Express's, planes featured the Powerpuff Girls at an aircraft, which the customers were given promotional items regarding the movie, such as activity sheets, temporary tattoos, and buttons. in Latin America, the kids could, enter a contest, and the first winner would get earned free tickets for the film and a video camera, which the premiere then was being held by Warner Bros. At the Century City in California in June of 2002, on June 23rd, which part of the film's cast and crew attended. So, of course, in theaters, that the film was accompanied by a G-rated Dexter's Laboratory short called Chicken Scratch, which Dexter then gets to chicken pox, and to avoid scratching them, to avoid turning into an actual chicken, which is way before you get to the movie. Now, the film was released in Region 1. The film was released in Region 1 and was on VHS and DVD around November of 2002, and the DVD included extras such as deleted scenes, behind-the-scenes footage, the audio commentaries, and all that, which, of course, Region 2 DVD release presents the film as the original widescreen aspect ratio, but omits the audio commentary. So, of course, yet again, as of 2021, the film is yet to be released on Blu-ray and digital, but we are not really sure when. So, of course, as of October of 2020, on Rotten Tomatoes, the film had an approval rating at 63%, based on the 103 reviews, with the average of rating being 6.14 out of 10. Now, of course, they said that the Powerpuff Girls movie was pretty good, and they also really liked it to be a really good concept. Now, to be completely honest, let's get started with the whole TV series of Powerpuff Girls. Now, the TV show itself was then originally being developed in 1992, and eventually the show was made sometime, I guess, the show started having, certain seasons from 1998 all the way to 2005, which, of course, they had a few shows of Powerpuff Girls afterwards, that was one of them being 2003 and to 2014. However, there is a remake of the Powerpuff Girls, which came out in 2006, which I'm not really that, keen on, because I didn't really care for it that much at all. Now, Powerpuff Girls Z, which is a Japanese anime version of Powerpuff Girls, except it's pretty different compared to what you're seeing. And, of course, there are some, books, merchandise of him, and etc. So, I guess with that being the case, and that being said, the episodes were pretty good, and a lot of people really enjoyed the show. And of course, with the manga anime such as Powerpuff Girls Z, which is kind of the Japanese animated series based on the cartoon. However, there were some, different, high school students, which the girls are in their teen years in this, in the Powerpuff Girls Z, which include, the names were different, such as Hyper Blossom, Rolling Bubbles, and Powered Buttercup, which are pretty different names compared to how the original was. Of course, there's a live-action television series based on the Powerpuff Girls, was announced to be in development, which is hard to say. I really don't know if the live-action one is going to be good, but I am going to hope that it's pretty good, but who really knows? Around 1999 and even 2002, the Powerpuff Girls were made into dolls and action figures around the time. Of course, Subway eventually promoted the series with 4 toys in their kids' meals, which, of course, her sets of 6 of meal toys were made part of the Dairy Queen promotion as well. But, of course, it's hard to say, as Burger King and some other places started, promoting the Powerpuff Girls. There are video games based on the Powerpuff Girls, so it's pretty obvious that I knew there was going to be, video games based on it. But anyways, I really think that Powerpuff Girls was actually a must-watch superhero movie and TV show if you guys haven't. Now, I'm not going to go through every single episode because it's going to take forever to do so, but I definitely would have to say, if you really think that you should really watch a really good movie, I highly recommend you watch the Powerpuff Girls, because if you watched it when you were a kid, then you probably, remember the show being good back when you were younger. And I really remember the show being a pretty good concept when I was younger. And, I still like the original. And the thing about the new one is that I'm not that crazy on the newer series. Like, for those who like the newer series, that's fine. But if you don't like the newer series, that's okay too. To me, I'm not crazy on it. Like, I probably watch it whenever I'm bored. Don't really have really much to, well, say, but I definitely would have to say that it's actually quite surprising, to be honest, when it came to it. So, I guess with that being the case, I'm gonna sit there and wrap up the review. Now, this is just simply my own personal opinion on the Powerpuff Girls movie and TV show. If you guys disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these movies, TV shows, and whatnot. And on my opinion, I loved the Powerpuff Girls ever since I was a kid, and I still love them to this very day. If you don't like Powerpuff Girls, that's fine. I don't have anything against anybody if they don't like it. It's their choice. Now, anyways, with that said, what did you guys think of the Powerpuff Girls? Did you like the movie? Did you like the TV series? Did you like it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done person to help make the movie or series a lot better? Feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I uploads, and you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all next time.